Yeah. Welcome to the big leagues, fellas. Finally had to step up my game a little bit with a Bad Boy Maverick 60-inch. Well, I gotta tell you, it's a real sad part of getting older is whenever buying a mower gets you all jazzed up. I tell you what, man, this thing is a freaking monster. It may be a tad too much of a monster, but for the deal, this was an unpassable option, you know, an offer I couldn't refuse. Let's take a look at this thing. So yeah, guys, here we are with my latest questionable purchase, the Bad Boy Maverick 60-inch mower with a 25 horse Kohler. Now, this particular mower comes, well, shouldn't I say, is available in several different configurations. You can get a Briggs engine, a Kohler engine, or a Kawasaki engine. Naturally, all of them change the price point of this thing and availability and whatnot. I actually would have preferred to have gotten this in a 54-inch deck. However, there is a caveat to that. The standard from Bad Boy comes with a Briggs & Stratton with a 54-inch deck, and that is made specifically for California residents only for emission purposes. Now, you can get this setup with a Kohler or a Kawasaki and a 54-inch deck. However, that is a special order and you would need to go to like a dealership to do that. And not only does that increase the trouble you got to go through, but it also increases the price. Now, price, let's talk about that. The reason I pulled the trigger on this thing was because of the price. Now, don't get me wrong, these things are still expensive, especially if you buy them new. However, because these things are so beefy, the aftermarket is still really, really strong for these things. So even if you were to get one a couple years old, you're only going to save a couple $100 off MSRP of a brand new one. So I really couldn't justify going out and spending the money for like a decent used one for like $500 more just to buy a brand new one. And I know, the price, the MSRP, I picked this thing up at Tractor Supply during their demo days for $69.99. I know that is by no means that's not a small chunk of change by any means, but however, Tractor Supply does this demo day thing every spring. They have the manufacturers come in, talk to you, wheel and deal, whatever. There's always promotions going on during this time, so I saved a little bit off of the purchase price so it was under that 7K mark. And if you apply for the Tractor Supply credit card, they will give you 4 years, 0% financing. So if you don't feel like breaking out the old checkbook and spending $7,000 all at once, which I wasn't very keen on, you can get a Tractor Supply credit card. It's 0% financing for 4 years. And like, yeah, absolutely. Man, you make it 30-year mortgage at 0%. I don't care. Someone's willing to give me free money and then I can just take my sweet time paying it back a nickel at a time. Absolutely. I will do that every day of the week. Like I mentioned with the configurations on this thing, I would have preferred a 54-inch deck over a 60 because the property here is a little hilly, so I already know that I'm going to scalp some edges on this thing. It's going to happen. I know. But like I said before, in order to get this thing in the 54-inch configuration, you would have to go specifically to a dealership and order it that way. which makes the price go through the freaking roof. Now, even like the California only mower that you can get online through Tractor Supply, it is $600 more than this one for a smaller mower, just because you're paying for the specific and customness of getting this thing outside of its OE configuration. And under no circumstances am I willing to pay more for less. So I just conceded and like, whatever, we'll just get this one for the better price. I mean, I felt like that was a no-brainer. When it comes to the engine options, that is also a configurable price add-on, if you will. So this one, dare I say, is like the normal stock option. You get the Kohler 60-inch deck. The other option for this one is the Kawasaki engine, which weirdly enough has slightly less horsepower, but it costs more. Which, I mean, arguably a Kawasaki engine is better than a Kohler, but Kohlers are still good engines. I mean, you change the oil, you clean the air filters, you take care of these things. There's no reason that they won't run for a long time. So, again, I couldn't make myself pay more. I think this thing's going to be just fine. Let's go over some of the features of this here bad boy. Now, obviously, you know, the power plant here is already the Kohler engine. So that's the option for this thing. 60-inch deck, 7-gauge steel. This thing is beefy. I mean, this thing is probably 1/8 of an inch thick. I don't even want to venture to guess how expensive how heavy this thing is, because yeah, it's a lot. And the grass chute here is rubber. It's not molded plastic like most you would see. So whenever you slap this thing off stumps and the sides of buildings and whatever else you're doing, you're not going to break this. It's meant to be manipulated. So cool. One less thing I got to worry about breaking the first time I use it. Up here on the front axle, we're featuring some semi-pneumatic tires. So yes, they do take air. However, they're kind of like the run flat Goodyear tires. They're super, super thick and heavy duty. So even if there isn't air in them, they'll still run, if that makes any sense. Like, you got to put air in them, but it's not 100% necessary to have air in them. Either way, just do your maintenance. Make sure there's air in them. This front axle, you can tell it's a little beefy looking. Well, whenever you get into the Maverick model, this is like the biggest residential version mower that Bad Boy makes before you get into the strictly commercial stuff. Like, the next step up from this one is the Maverick HD, and they consider that one to be commercial. So this one is still considered residential. However, the difference is, like, really the only difference between this one and the HD commercial is that it comes with an adjustable air seat. Other than that, it's pretty much the same dang thing. Honestly, I think the HD also has dual fuel tanks. But other than that, it's the same machine. But back here to this axle, we have a floating I-beam front axle. So it's not just square tube steel like you would see on the lesser models like the homeowner specials. This thing is beefy. We're talking 1/4-inch iron up here, welded I-beam. And it has rubber isolators. So we have suspension on this zero turn. Not only do we have suspension up here on the front axle, we also have rubber isolators on each of the rear tires. Because this thing is hydrostatic, each wheel has its own drive motor and they are isolated from each other. So we're not talking a solid axle, a transaxle, anything like that. They are separate, independent things that float and move independently of each other. So if you guys have ever used a zero turn, you know these things are like riding a bull. They're just all over the place. They're bouncy. They beat you up. They've done what they could with this one to help that. So, I mean, the seat, it's not the air ride, but it's still pretty good. I mean, I'm not cutting 6,000 yards per summer here and worried about compressing my spine on this thing. It's going to be comfortable for doing what I need to do. And I think this thing is going to be awesome for a long time. When it comes to maintenance on these things, Bad Boy has thought about you. This footwell deck here folds right up and out of the way. It gives you full access to the top of the deck, the pulleys, the spindles, your drive belt, everything. It's super easy to get to, not only for maintenance, but for cleaning it. So after you do all your crap, you can get in here with a leaf blower, garden hose, whatever you need to do, clean this thing out. So not only does the footwell move up and out of the way super easy, the seat also super easy up and out of the way. It gives you access to the battery, access to the rear of the engine. Everything you need is right here. Underneath here is as simple as you want it to be. We have the battery, some electronics, the relay for the starter. We have the hydrostatic oil like overflow tank, the expansion tank, and then some basic electronics, just some plugs, some connectors. Right here is your parking brake with a switch that kills the engine if you engage it in the wrong time. You know, safety, this and that. But other than that, there's nothing under here. It's simple, it's easy to get to, really low maintenance. Comes to the control panel here. Obviously, we have our throttle, hour meter, ignition, PTO to turn the blades on and off, and our deck height. You control this with the foot pedal and this. So you release the weight of the deck with the foot pedal, set this to the height that you want, let go of the foot pedal, it goes down to whatever you have set. Got a cup holder. I mean, I don't know how much cuppage you're gonna need because you kind of need both hands to run these things. Your fuel fill, vent for the tank, fuel gauge. We have our engine choke here on this side along with the parking brake. In case you were wondering, unlike previous models, I know some people, we're all different shapes and sizes here. The handles are not always in the right position for you. This model and this year, they've changed some things. So these can actually be pivoted a couple degrees here and there, you know, get closer to you, further away from you, whatever you need. It's nice that they've added that. And we have some nice overmolded grips here. They're not just that crappy foam that's gonna disintegrate after the first season. And the seat also moves backward and forward, armrest up and down, along with a seat belt. And yes, this ROPS folds over. So if you're trying to put this thing in like a box trailer or something, yes, this does fold down and get out of the way. It makes this whole thing as tall as the seat. One of my most favorite things about this is that they built this thing with maintenance in mind, because this is like almost commercial and they realize that people make a living with these things. They've thought about that. Almost everything on this mower has a grease point. Every linkage, every bearing, every wheel, every spindle, almost everything has a grease zerk fitting, which is awesome. I am big into grease and stuff. I know it makes a mess, but it makes stuff last. It's worth it. Take care of your stuff. So let's fire this bad boy up here, huh? God, this thing's a freaking monster. What else can I say, guys? Was it absolutely necessary? Not really. But some of the best things in life, they're not really absolutely necessary. I cannot wait to just go on this thing. You know, those crappy chores like taking care of the property, whenever you can get stupid little stuff like this to make it enjoyable, yeah, worth it. So hopefully you guys like this one, man. It got a little overview. We'll see you next time.